good morning, good afternoon, wherever in the world. Welcome to Explain It Live. My name is Lionel Miranda, and today we got a special stream for you all. We got a Song of Ice and Fire, battle happening in front of us right now. But boy, this battle has a heck of a lot of, I'm going to say, what would you say, Clarence?
Stakes, sir.
Stakes. And as you already figured out, this is going to be the first time I've ever had a co-host.
Woo!
And speaking of which, his name is Mr. Clarence Lee.
Hello, everybody.
Great to have you actually on stream, my man. We've been kind of thinking about doing this for quite a while. I do not know Song of Ice and Fire anywhere near as well as Clarence does. So I will be playing the role of the novice asking the dumb questions, while Clarence will be waxing poetic and giving us insights into the game of Song of Ice and Fire. Now, on the surface, this looks like any other miniature game. There's points involved. There's troops involved. You spend points to buy troops, and off you go. But this game has quite a lot of really cool features to it. If you are familiar with A Song of Ice and Fire, that would be the Game of Thrones for those who only watch the show. There's a lot of politics happening in the world. And how the heck do you express that in a combat game? Well, they do it in an extra special way, and part of the genius of this design of this game is the NCU board. Is that right? No, I'm saying it right this time?
It is correct. The tactics board or NCU board, yep.
The NCU board. Now, the NCU board, that is, how am I going to spotlight this for you? But if you're looking at the right-hand corner of your screen, who's the company that makes this mat?
This is by Hits and Crits.
Hits and Crits. So these guys make these really, really cool mats, and we are using it for the stream today. I'm not going to say thank you to them, but thank you for creating it to begin with. How's that? I'll say that.
It's gorgeous.
It is a very, very, very nice looking mat. So Hits and Crits, that'll be that logo to the far right hand of your screen. Now, just below that is all these little weird symbols. There's a crown, there's a pony, there's a bag of money. What else is there?
There's an envelope.
There's an envelope and a horn.
2 cross swords.
And 2 cross swords. Okay, cool. So how do you express the politics of this universe in a miniature game? Well, let me tell you, it's called this NCU board. And think of this as actually, in essence, their spellcasting. So what is this about? So you take these political characters from the movie, like Littlefinger. You don't see him rampaging across the battlefield, right? Where's the dwarf's name?
Tyrion Lannister.
How could I possibly forget about Tyrion Lannister?
That's right.
Okay, so now Tyrion does fight, but
he's also on the board.
He's also on the board.
He drinks his wine, reads his books.
So guess what? In this game, there's 2 versions of him.
Yes.
That's how the 2 relate. So in the political environment, that's where that little sideboard now comes into place. Now, depending on where you place that political figure, it can unlock different things. Like, for instance, if you put it on the horse, you can get a movement. You can get an out-of-activation movement. If you put it on the money bags, you can actually raise the dead.
No, you're bribing him to come back, Lionel. You're like, I got money. Come back and fight.
Yeah. Raise the dead. And then, of course, one of the crossroads is just fight out of activation.
Get to do another attack.
Yeah.
Very powerful.
So these are all really amazing effects on the game that any other game would express as, say, like a magical effect. But in this game, it's actually political actions that are happening in the background impacting this battle. And that's basically the narrative that the game plays. A very, very cool and elegant way to do it. There's a bit of opportunity cost to it, right? So with the opportunity cost, let's quickly go over, because it looks like the guys are about to throw down.
Yes.
It's you, board. What's the opportunity cost?
So, if you take one zone, you have to say to yourself, what do I really want right now? Do I want the extra cards from the tactics zone? Do I want the extra movement? Do I want to attack again? Do I want to heal? Because what you take in this game, it's an I go, you go activation. So you take one zone, that means that you're going to give the next activation to your opponent. They're going to take the other zone that you wanted next, probably. So you really got to weigh the cost of, like, what do I take, what do I block, and what do I sacrifice?
Right. And to do a movement on that board comes at the sacrifice, in air quotations, of doing a move in reality.
Right.
And you go back and forth through that. Very, very interesting mechanic. I absolutely love it. It's elegant. There's no die rolls. It's just placement. And if you sometimes we want to place a character on there to deny your opponent's ability to access it as well, because they could potentially leverage that position better than you can. And that's part of the nuance of the game and the way the factions break down. All right, we're going to get into more of that as this stream goes. Let's just get to the board and see what the boys are saying.
They're probably in like a sound box or something.
You target yourself with it, and then you resolve the shipping attacks against the unit.
I'm fucking scared.
They are.
Huh?
They are, and you can start.
Okay,
All
thank
right.
you. Yeah, buddy. Let's go. Okay,
right.
let's go. You pick. Where's the Adepticon 2024 token going?
I'm just thinking now. So, if I go first, I get at least to use the tactics board the way I want to use it. If you go first this round and the next round, you poison a zone, I get screwed up with that one zone, which I don't get to activate till the last thing. So, I'm gonna go first, just so that I can at least get something I want before you get something you want.
Let's do it.
All right.
Good luck.
Okay. Activating Balon. Gonna take the letters.
All right, what are you spotting, Clarence?
So I was going to say that this scenario is usually very interesting in that there's two objectives on the flanks on a pile of corpses, and very often players will dedicate one unit to camping on the objective and fighting with the rest of your army. Dan's army is incredibly elite. Every unit is a killer. He's got the Golden Company crossbows on the left. He's got the Victory Iron Crew next to them. He's got Silence Men, and then he's got Reapers on the far right. None of these units really want to sit out of the game, so I was really curious what he would use to hold the objective, and I'm not shocked that it looks like he's not going to hold it at all. All of his units are placed in the middle in an aggressive position, and on Jay's side, Jay has got his Cav on the far flank, and he's got his Blackguard with a potential to grab the objective on the left. They are an incredibly tanky unit. They can probably hold it. So Jay might be playing kind of standard, and looks like Dan, unsurprisingly, this is his playstyle, is going to be all gas and just go for the throat.
Nice. Very, very nice. Now, these boys aren't just playing a pickup game, right? So what's the background of this match? Well, we didn't. The gentleman in Quebec.
Yes, it's actually Chris Cullen from I think he's from Ottawa, actually. But
Yeah.
they held the event in Gatineau, which is close by in the Quebec side.
Great. So the Canadian Nationals was held in Gatineau. And a bunch of the crew went down to the actual event. And through fortune and I guess a lot of sweat equity poured into it, the X-Planet boys did extremely, extremely well. And so well, in fact, that first, second, third, and fourth were captured by X-Planet players. Congratulations to all of them. A ton of work was put into them, even as a community, even all the people who didn't get to go. The reason why these guys placed as well as they did was all those reps inside the shop. So these guys kicked some butt. Now, the thing is, the guy who won it, which is Dan, didn't actually play against Jay. Now, is that right? Is that correct?
That is correct. Both gentlemen went 5-0 at the end of the day.
And Dan won because of breakers.
That's right.
And that's terrible. We do not have an actual definitive winner for Canadian champions. So we are going to sort that out today, folks. And if you think there's nothing on the line, well, you are mistaken. Let me see if I could get rid of this actual board. I'm not going to be able to do it as well as I normally am. But you know what? We'll still get the shot. Give me a moment. Boom, boom. And there it is. Check out that crown, folks. Check out that crown. That's right. That is one heck of a crown, and that's what they're actually playing for today.
So appropriate. The
So
Lord Protector
appropriate.
of the Seven Kingdoms shall wear this crown.
So cool.
Pivot like this. Should be 1 inch away. Not 1 inch away. It's okay. We're fine with that though. Let's go with a little more of a pivot. Okay. Oh. Victorian that starts off with deployment, one pillage token.
Okay. Start of turn.
Yep,
Any
go ahead.
cards? I'm going to play Viper's In for me, the second one. Draw a card. Activate the archers. Intention is with a 3-inch Windermere shift and a 2-inch shift with your archers, you can't shoot me. I'll leave that for you if you want.
All right, so as the action's unfolding, just going to talk a bit about the sequence of play from what I could tell. It looks like Dan took the envelope, which is pretty typical as an opening move, draw some extra tactics cards. So another cool aspect of the game compared to other miniature games is on top of having soldiers that roll dice and kill each other, you also have a hand of cards. And these cards are little boosts that can help you hit harder, do some sneaky things. So the envelope in the beginning is a very high priority zone to get the 2 extra cards and to put down a token on the opponent, a condition token. Looks like Jay in return used the horse, pretty typical play, and then Dan took the bag to deny Jay some removal of the tokens. It won't really matter in this case because Jay has an NCU Ilaria Sand who can remove the token anyhow. But what's interesting, I think, for me watching the table right now is the positioning of the players' trays. So initially I said that the Greyjoys were going to head straight down the middle and fight, and it looks like Dan has kind of moved at an angle with his Reapers, and they are looking at the objective on the right side. So I think that's interesting. That's a very powerful unit. But Dan is pretty sneaky. I'm going to say that this is the unit that Jay has to watch out for because it's got Asher Greyjoy, who's got the Sentinel rule. There have been so many games I've played against Dan where he's caught me off guard with a Sentinel charge. So this unit, even though it may seems like it's out of position, can quickly get back into position via that Sentinel rule. So if he was to grab with anything, it does make sense to grab it with those Reapers of Asha. Looking at Jay's positioning on the far left with his archers, he has placed down the, looks like, stakes. So the stakes are a piece of terrain that if you touch it, or do an action on it, you're going to take D3+1 wounds, just straight up wounds, which is very impactful in this game because your trays only have 12 wounds on them. So losing 2, 3, 4 wounds is a huge deal. So he's placing them behind those stakes to stay safe and to, discourage any charging. And it's good and it's bad. It's going to create a bunker kind of situation where it's going to be very painful to approach the left side. But it also establishes his threat range. Because he can only stay behind those stakes, Dan can measure precisely and know where to stay safe. So I like Jay's positioning there. He's got him behind the stakes. If you want to attack him, you gotta fight through. It looks like in return, Dan has the Golden Company crossbows across, so we may see a shooting match. And in a shooting match like this, who gets first shot is going to make a big, big, big deal. And to help Dan with that shot, he has Windermere. Windermere can give him a 3-inch shift. So shooting ranges are very established in this game. It's a 12-inch range for the shot, but you also get a 2-inch shift. So everybody knows your threat range is 14, but that Windermere shift really gives him an extra 3 inches. Great for shooting, and also great for getting some clutch charges in as well. The tactics board normally fills up at the start of the game, but you can see there's 2 open zones. This is very important for Greyjoys in particular because Victarion has a card, Assault Orders, which lets him charge off the tactics board. And he's got a card in his deck, Rush of Aggression, which allows him to automatically roll a 6. So he's keeping that tactics board open to allow the opportunity for a 11-inch charge with the crew at any point in time. So Jay's got to watch out. He knows that his threat range he's measuring right now, he wants to stay outside of that 11. But really, if you want to be super safe, he'd stay out of 14 because of the Windemere shift.
Interesting. So as you've already noticed, if you've never played Song of Ice and Fire before, all the terrain is 2D. And that's simply because of practicality purposes. This is primarily a board game or a tournament game. These models come as one single piece. They have evolved over time, and there's some very, very pretty models in the actual range itself, as you are about to see right now as I close in on this lovely thing. Now, the thing is, Clarence, these 2D terrains like those stakes, they could be removed from the game. They could be attacked, right?
Yes, they are destructible, and they can be destroyed because they are very powerful. But to counteract that, you can destroy them. And there's many games where I've been like, oh, I've got to use these stakes or this palisade to keep my guys safe. And then my opponent goes, I'm going to eat the shots, walk up to the stakes, break them, and now what? Now your archers are in the open.
Interesting.
Force. So take 2. You guys can hear us, okay?
Sorry, highest tactile value and sundering. Panic on +1, +2, I guess. On a 4?
Yeah.
Good.
Sentinel.
All right, in that move, I just want to welcome the West Coast Bannerman to the chat. He's talking about friendly. This is not a friendly game. This is played to the death. And you're not wrong. I mean, not completely wrong. No one's going to actually die. But a crown is potentially going to be placed on a different head. So that's something. Also want to welcome Clarence Lee, the guy right beside me, to the chat. Oh, commenting in the chat right there. So what did your scouting mission complete, Clarence?
Yeah, just checking the cards on the objectives. Sometimes they're very impactful. In this case, they are not likely to be. The one on the far right is roll, I believe. Oh, I can't even remember now. It's the left one is sundering, and the right one is something like roll your highest attack dice. Which
so sundering is like an extra AP.
Yes, AP or rend for
rend.
GW game players.
Yeah.
The thing about the objectives is you don't often fight on them, so they don't often have an impact unless they do stuff. Some objectives can throw out tokens or heal you, but in this game they don't. Something interesting about the scenario is that if any infantry die, they will spawn new corpse piles and new objectives as well. So that is something very meaningful.
And the scenario is called A Feast for Crows.
A Feast for Crows.
A Feast for Crows. There you go.
5 on 6s.
Yeah, sorry, thanks. 6s.
Oh,
3.
okay.
Panic on a 7. Take 1. Activated.
Player cunning ploy. He doesn't have it. Interesting.
You're done, yeah?
Yeah,
no,
no,
you're
I
there.
still have an activation.
Yep.
It's how I got first tap. I probably should have done center, but I played
So, in Song of Ice and Fire, much like any of the Tray games, there's lines o' sight. And the lines of sight are measured off the corners. You can measure it as a diagonal right across the corner. Am I correct about that?
Yep.
Yeah. So line of sight flanks are important. You can only declare a charge within that front line of sight, that wedge. If you do not have a line of sight to...
Oh, we got some action happening.
Okay.
I just saw Dan slap down a card with authority here.
Let's see what he's saying, actually.
Let me just do some measuring.
Oh, we
do not so.
Non-range. Shift back 2.
Does that give him an out of activation movement?
Shot, I think.
Ooh, nice.
Yep, you're good.
Shoot me now, please.
Yes! Every deploy mattered!
6, 7. 7 on 4s. Not taking that.
I mean, that would have been great.
Nothing.
0.
Lucky. Well, that was fortunate. For the Martells, that is, I guess. So as I was saying, lines of sight are measured from the front arc. And to get a charge or line of sight to shoot, all you have to see is a piece of the tray.
Yep, just see
That's
a
it.
piece. Yep.
That's it.
Yep.
Even if it's just a slight corner, you
You're
can
good.
fire.
Yep.
Awesome. You do also get bonuses for hitting flanks.
Yes, shooting and combat. So the advantage of hitting the flank or the rear, attacking the flank, you get to reduce their armor by 1, and their panic test is modified by -1 as well. And then the rear, it's by 2 for the armor save and the panic test. So it's interesting round 1 end here. They're about to reset for round 2. So Dan, unfortunately, so I think he's engaging in a shooting duel with his brown unit of Golden Company crossbows against Jay's archers. Jay got the first shot, took off a bit of the Iron Victory crew. Greyjoys have a lot of healing mechanics, so I see that they're all back already. And because he moved up into range, Dan was able to fire back and peel off 4 guys. Now, he had a second shot, which he used with We Do Not So, it seems like. He got unlucky. I think he's got an Oberon card, which makes a -1 to hit on him. And he missed, I think, 7 out of 7 shots, which is incredibly unlucky. Now it's Jay's opening for round 2. He has just placed Tyeen's Poison, the Strangler, on the Sword Zone. The Sword Zone is incredibly important in a shooting match because it gives you extra shots.
It's out of activation shot.
Out of activation shots. Now, Dan can take the zone, but then one of his non-combat units will get poisoned, and they're going to get debilitating effects until round 5, where that unit actually dies. It is almost impossible to lose a non-combat unit, so to lose one such like that is pretty brutal. So Jay is now doing a very typical opening. Oh, I lied. I thought he was going to take Peter Baelish, put him on the bag to deny healing, and then use the sword to shoot back. But instead, he used it as a straight heal. So he used Tyeen on the bag and just replenished that entire unit. With the money, no zombies here, just good old coins to bring back the archers back to full health.
Or it's necromancers.
Or it's necromancers. The Desert Stalkers, I can't remember the name of that archer unit, is incredibly potent in shooting. If they attack you before you've activated, they get full rerolls to hit, and they drop a vulnerable token on you. So Dan's gone for envelope. I think he's going to drop a weaken token to reduce the power of the shooting. He did. He weakened the archers. He's drawing some more cards. He's leaving the sword open. He doesn't want to poison his guys yet. His guys are incredibly useful. Does not want them out of the game yet. And I'm sure we're going to see Jay take the sword as a counter move.
All right, interesting. Let's get to the table.
Activate Peter. Go there. I'm going to spend a Peter token.
Sword?
Sword.
Okay.
What did you just notice?
I thought I was like he's definitely going to use Peter. Definitely going to take the sword. I forgot he still has Peter. So Peter is going to do the thing I talked about earlier. He's going to take the horse, but he's going to spend one of his 2 tokens to use it as a sword instead. And he's going to take a shot with his Desert Stalkers. Now he knows that Asha is in long range, so he has to expect that Ash is going to get a counter move out of this. And we'll see what he's going to shoot. Again, he just shifted to the side here to make sure he's safe behind the stakes. Again, this is really nasty because the sword is still open. He's going to get a second volley. Even with a 4-up save, 7 dice re-rolling to hit with the vulnerable token is going to shred even the Iron Victory crew. So let's see what he targets.
8 shots with rerolls. 4 so far. 8 hits.
8 hits.
8
I didn't
hits.
even see that. Oh man, this is gonna suck every time.
The camera saw it, buddy.
All right, fine. I'll trust it.
They'll come running out of the room if I cheated. Don't worry. I would never. You flip the table. 8 on 4s, buddy. 8 on 4s.
Vulnerable?
You
4
say
up.
4. Let's vulnerable. That'll be 8 wounds.
Nope, these are the new ones. That's why the monster was -1 to be rendered. 8.
2 more.
All right, what you thinking?
That was a brutal shot. He should have lost 6. He just went 0-8 there with the vulnerable token. The unit is obviously now crippled. The problem is Dan has Balon Greyjoy.
Before you say that,
Yes.
so the reason why he was forced to reroll, and it was reroll in a bad way, he had to reroll successes, is because there was a token, and it's
Yes.
a weakened token.
A
that
vulnerable
did it.
token, yeah.
There's many ways to pick up these. There's all sorts of rules. There's all sorts of weapons. The point is that unit had a vulnerable token on it, and then Jay said, after you roll, I'm going to pull to reroll your successes, and that's why he got into this situation that he's in.
Yes, absolutely. So the thing is, it is great to shred down Victorian's unit. They're now crippled. They're not going to hit very hard, but that's also kind of what Dan wants. Dan has Balon Greyjoy, who is one of the most controversial NCUs in the game. Each patch, they kind of make him a little bit worse. He's now a 6-point NCU, which is massive. But what he does is once a Greyjoy unit dies, he gets to respawn it potentially on the flanks in your, blind spot. So there's a real argument that maybe Jay should have been targeting the Brown Golden Company crossbows, who are not Greyjoys. If they die, they stay dead. But, it is nice to, again, kill 8 out of 8. So we'll see if that shot pays out.
Yeah, it's hard to complain about that.
Yeah.
Right? That's a start of turn.
Yes.
So you're going back to the turn before.
The 2 at no rend. 5s.
You couldn't stop the card anyways, though.
I got you. That's in there. What's a ruling, Judge? Judge! Judge!
You agreed to it, that's fine.
It's fine.
Sentinel.
You're right, thank you.
So I want to get closer and get shot up. He can't really hit me right now. So you're going to shoot me again. He's going to shoot me again. Okay, yeah, let's go for it.
It does not.
5 up.
Yeah, 5 up, 6 up.
Range now.
All right, so the swords, which would basically what Dan's worried about is Jay putting one of his characters on that sword on the NCU board, and then activating an out-of-activation attack, another shooting attack. And the reason why he's really worried about it is because currently it is poisoned. He doesn't want to place a character there because he doesn't want it to die and lose that resource for latter turns in the game. So right now, he's just going to suffer it, I guess.
Yeah. And I forgot that the Golden Company crossbows also had Sentinel. I've always been caught out by Ash's unit on the far right, but they have Sentinel also. So after the shot, they actually pushed forward, and they're, I think, now shooting into those Desert Stalkers. It looked like a good hit roll. The Stalkers have almost 0 armor, so it looks like 6 will go down, crippling the unit. And that was big.
Panic. And a 7. Pass.
Everything into the bid is, yeah, and here's Sweet Davies. So I still have 7 there. 1, 2, 3, 4. Take care, guys. See ya. 5.
What's your morale on the archers?
Currently, it's 5 up.
All right, we are in round 2. Currently, the score is 0-0. Lots of maneuverings happening. As you've kind of gathered, if you've held on this long to explore this game, there is an enormous amount of tactical play in Song of Ice and Fire. Tons of maneuvering that happen. Trays will do that. And then there's the additional mechanics of cards. Now, the baseline for this game is just humans. So basically, the difference between everybody is very, very minimal in raw stats. Where the magic happens, the sauce, it's in the decks of cards. Each faction has a deck of cards that expresses their personality. So for instance, if you love Lannisters, guess what that deck does? A whole bunch of counterplay, canceling of your abilities, and screwing you over. The Starks are pretty aggressive.
Yes.
Yeah, just generally speaking.
Yep.
And then the Knights of the Wall, because they're constantly getting troops from all around the kingdoms, are really the most necromancer of the factions. The guys who raise the dead an absolute ton because they get tons of resources pushed there. All right, Clarence, what do you think is happening right now?
So Jay took the sword, and I'm interested. He shot the Golden Company. I think he would have killed Victarion, but he knows that is a dangerous play because I believe, yes, Dan has not yet activated Balon. So if he was to kill Victarion, he may have a bigger problem in that unit would just resurrect behind him and potentially just tear up his backfield. So he shot into the Golden Company crossbows instead. Because they had activated, the Desert Stalkers now no longer rolled a hit. They no longer drop a vulnerable token. So the shot was not that effective. He only killed 3. Even they are less armored than the Victarion crew. Without those rerolls, without the token, you're just a regular archer unit at this point. It's a very dangerous position for Jay because going next round, Dan's going first, and he's going to get the first shot, either through sacrificing onto the sword or just activating. He's got a very good chance with 7 dice re-rolling to take out those last 6 guys. So we'll see what Jay does to mitigate that.
Yeah, the mechanic for Song of Ice and Fire is very interesting on rounds. So one of the players gets to go first, and they go back and forth starting with the active player until they finish activating everything. When they go to the next round, the other player goes first, and then they go through the process again, basically finish activating back and forth, and then priority goes back. So this is a 5-round game.
6-round game.
6 rounds. Okay, so everyone gets an even crack at going first. It's just whether or not they're going to be in position to win the game, I guess, by then.
Yes, sir.
Take D3.
Can be considered average for a 2 damage pop, so that's 10 damage. Okay.
This is the rider?
Yeah.
The mouse is the mouse.
6s. I got 3 of those. So, okay.
I'm just going through my head of all the options Dan has here, and it just occurred to me that Dan might voluntarily sacrifice his unit onto the stakes because he will suffer D3 plus 1 wounds. That could kill himself, and he could come back behind Jay. Now, that's actually not a good play because if the unit activates and dies, it will respawn activated, so that's not ideal. So maybe that's not a good play, but it is a potentially wacky play Dan could do. And even though Victarion himself is crippled, next to Victarion in those Silence Men is Newt. And Newt is Victarion's right-hand man. He literally has a rule called Victarion's Vassal, which says every card that would affect Victarion, give Victarion a buff, will affect Newt the same way. So the Assault Orders, the Rush of Aggression, those cards will benefit Newt just as well. And the tactics board, there's still one spot open, which allows for that Assault Orders play with Newt in the Silence Men. And
so when you say Newt and Silence Men, you're referring to these guys right here, right?
Yes, those cloaked dudes with the big axes. The crew are terrifying so that they say no secrets, tell no tales. What's his name? Euron Greyjoy takes the tongue out of each man. That's where they're called the Silenced Men. They can speak no words, but they are a terrifying unit in combat.
Next round. Can I take that gamble right now? That charge is less than 10. On a 3, I die. 3, I die. 3, I die. I got no healing to help out. No healing to help out.
All right, buddy. What were you noticing?
Oh, Dan just said it. He said if on a 3 I die, meaning he is actually considering a charge into the Desert Stalkers. So he's considering this madman move. We'll see what happens.
And that's basically sacrificing on the stakes, is what you're saying.
But it will allow him a respawn behind, which is kind of insane.
But he's got a bunch of units that haven't activated on the other side, though.
It's interesting. You're right. The cav will be the biggest problem for sure. Those cav are lance cav, meaning on the charge they deal devastating damage, 9 dice of lances.
And
they
the
can
cav
redeploy.
the cav folks is right here. The ones that are on
The
horses.
Starfall Knights, gorgeous. So they can be a very good redeploy unit to shore up the hole in the back corner that Jay has there. But the other 2 units, they might turn around. Jay might say, forget the objective. I'll just turn and fight this one unit. So it would probably be a bad move to turn around at this point. Oh, he did it.
You vulnerable?
He did it.
Okay.
Okay.
Where you roll the dice, I'm gonna play a card.
Some are monsters, some are dirty.
I'm gonna
Wow.
play Dune Tactics.
Okay.
So lowest attack die.
Okay, so 5 dice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Burgers and fries. Rerolls. Critical blow. So 4 hits.
Sixes?
Yep. Vulnerable, anything that passes.
What?
Vulnerable, anything that passes.
Sure.
Cool. 4.
And you're vicious, yeah?
Yep.
So it puts me on a 9, right?
Yep. Give the card.
What's that? It's a 9, yeah, 6, 9. I don't have the card.
Do you have the card?
I don't have the card.
Oh man.
It might
9
be
up.
there, unless it's over there.
Dead. You have the card?
No, don't have it.
Okay. Score point.
That was kind of crazy.
That was crazy. He rolled minimal damage on the stakes. He's now stuck there. Any move will kill that unit. He cannot pivot. He cannot maneuver. But that's okay. Dan killed a unit without losing one. And if that unit is to die, the Blackguard, for example, are in a position that they can charge in and probably kill off Victarion. That's okay because they're going to respawn through Balon Greyjoy. And if I was Dan, what I would do is I would respawn next round when they'll be unactivated behind him, which is going to be pretty terrifying. So we see Jay now putting down the corpse pile. So Dan's going to score a point for the kill. He'll be at 1. He grabbed the objective on the right side, so he'll be at 2. And Jay is probably going to grab the objective behind him with the horses, the Starfall Knights. And he's going to have to react to Victarion on that stake with either the Blackguard or with Oberyn. So, yeah, the Mad Lad did it. We'll see how this goes.
Do I get my order back or not?
What?
Yeah, overrun. I'm gonna say this. That doesn't come back. So, but I'm not gonna even do it anyways. Do I want to move and take damage? Yes, I do. Corpse pile. Corpse pile.
Another one?
Yeah.
Hold on, don't move it. Don't move it.
Yeah.
So plus
So he's doing exactly what you said, Clarence. He's basically now leveraging this the stakes. Now, the ballsy move that he did, folks, is he declared a charge, did not die on the stakes.
Yeah.
All right, because that was the massive risk.
Yes, 1 in 3 chance. He just loses a unit before he even
He
attacks.
went for it, didn't die, slaughtered a unit in hand-to-hand combat, was now pinned by the stakes, And then after now slaughtering that unit, he has the opportunity, much like in many miniature games, the opportunity to reposition, consolidate, or whatever you would like to call it. Chose to actually exercise it and kills himself. So narratively, every time a unit dies, out comes a corpse pile, because narratively, that's the dead. Very, very interesting. I thought he was just going to hang out there and just use it, just have him as a little fence. But by killing this unit, it also denies movement, right?
It denies movement, so now the blackguard hopefully can march onto the objective on the left flank. I didn't think about the benefits of creating a corpse pile now, and the benefit now for Dan is that he can now score a bonus point. So actually, Jay does get a point for killing, for that unit dying, so it'll be 1-1. And I wonder if Dan has a way to get on that point with the Golden Company crossbows. The only way I think he can do it is to use Wendemir and use the shifting token to get back on. I think that's possible. If he does, it'll be tied up at 2-2. He'll be in a slightly better position because if Jay grabs you from the left, the blackguard, those guys are tanky as hell, but they're going to eat repeated shots from the crossbows over and over and over again to a point where A, they'll get whittled down, or B, if they fail a panic test, they'll drop the objective as well. So I predict Dan will use Wendemir. He's going to pass Morocco, or whoever that third NCU is. Morocco, I believe. And he's going to pass with Balon. Balon has no role right now.
There you go.
Yeah, so Morocco's on the board already. So, yeah, there's some questions to be asked. The question is, does he wait for Balon to do his thing, or will he do it next round? So Jay is now activating the blackguard. He had pre-measured this. He's marching 10 onto the objective. He's going to score the points. The point is not going to do anything useful for him. It only works in melee. The question is, will Dan wait on the respawn, or will he use Wendemir to shift the crossbows back? I think he should shift the crossbows back. Personally, he's not in a rush to bring Balon back yet. Or bring Victorian back yet.
Done?
Done.
Okay. And I just activate here. We're going to move up.
Okay.
I'm just gonna move 6 this way. Let's go 6 this way. 6 and then pivot like this. You wanna charge me, charge me. You have an empty tray I can use?
What's that?
Nothing.
You need a tray?
No, I'm okay. Bad boys, bad boys.
Sorry, Warren. 4 up 2, I get this guy.
All right, as the players are actually thinking, I was just reflecting on the ballsy move that Dan made across that table. Part of that impact and deciding factor of that move was the cards in his hand.
Yep, for sure. And you know what? The more I think about it, the more I appreciate how big of a risk he took, but the reward he got out of it. Jay poisoned the sword. Why'd he do that? He wanted to win the shootout. It would allow his archers to shoot twice around as long as Peter Baelish had tokens. Now those archers are dead. Dan is the only one left with the long-range unit. So in a very real way, he's taking back board control. Plus, don't forget, that unit of Victorian's crew is going to come back, and Jay has one less resource now to deal with it. So it's not going to be an easy game for sure. Jay is looking at potential flank charges. He understands he cannot sit back with the blackguard. He was just checking there to see if there's room to fit. Of course, that telegraphs his move because Dan is next, and Dan can move that unit around on his first activation. So we'll see what Jay does. But to his the one thing Jay's got going for him is on the right side, Dan has settled down with the Reapers. The Reapers have decided to camp on the far right objective. That unit is also deadly and explosive, whereas Jay at least has his 3 units relatively close to each other where they can support each other. I'm a little surprised the Cav are so far back, but honestly, the way the Royal Guard are positioned in front of them, he doesn't have a lot of space to wiggle. So, it's one thing Jay has is I think he's preparing for Victarion to come in the bottom left corner. He wants to make sure that all his units are together to fight that beast.
There's also a comment by placing that tray and testing to see whether he fit, that was a psychological pull.
True.
There's a lot of psychology in this game. Oh, I'm just seeing if I fit. There's he's going to be doing that move, and then you're trying to compensate, and all of a sudden, maybe he exposes the flank to the Cav that seems to be out of position. But again, the other player doesn't know what cards are in the other bonus set. Is there like a crazy movement type card in Martell's that can get that Cav?
There is. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So now look, I was like, I placed that tray. Hey, Clarence, look. Oh, I just wanted to see whether I fit.
Yeah.
Well, I better do something about it. I got nothing near me. Sure, I'll tilt. And then all of a sudden, I'll drop this card, and now I rock it with my Cav and smack you in the flanks.
Yeah.
And that's all psychological play.
That's true.
There's a lot of really cool things you can do in the game, folks.
I'll have a start a turn card.
Movement abilities.
Which means you don't take that.
Dang it.
Start. Let's do some useful things. We're gonna retreat this guy. I think I take one mortal. Grapple cycle and
Movement.
move 7.
6.
I'm obscuring.
The pressure's coming.
I'm gonna retreat.
There it is.
3 mortals. For 1.
Oh, put corner down? No? Okay, cool.
Don't make it.
That.
Cool. Holy fuck.
No
Sorry,
swearing.
guys.
No
Sorry,
swearing.
guys.
No
Sorry,
swearing.
Sorry. This thing's gonna just keep falling off me when I start to stand up every time. Maybe I should just standing up. Okay. Balon.
Yep.
Before I do that though, could I just get a tray?
Yep.
Just need to check something. Oh yeah, we're Gucci.
Yeah.
And it's from here, by the way. Yeah, I know.
It's coming into the butt. Butt stuff.
Yeah. Cool.
Let's go as close as I can. Doesn't matter really. Okay, comes in activated. Activate Wendemir.
Shift over.
Activate Wendemir. Take the crown. Soul orders into the butt. Let's go 100%. All right. Ooh, can I go here and see you? Oops. Shit. No, that's too far. No, let's go like this. Okay. I'm gonna play Soul Order, so it's gonna be 4 dice.
I have disrupt.
Become vulnerable.
I have disrupt, and
Okay.
you have to take horrific visage.
I
first.
don't because Dominating Pride, same ranks, means I don't. I pass automatic panic checks.
So hitting on 4s.
4s though. Rerolls. Oh, I didn't roll a charge. Charge. Nope. So 2 hits.
No, you hit on 4s. So this
4,
is
so one
this
hit,
you
one
missed
hit.
2. Yeah. So 1 hit.
Yeah.
5 up. Oh, sorry, I should have rolled there. Roll a 3 on the 1 hit.
Panic -2, -4,
Minus lots.
-5.
Minus
-5.
lots.
11 for 3.
Okay.
So you lose the objective. Gonna put it right here. Yeah, that's fine.
That was a hell of a play. So he did the thing you said, Clarence. He resurrected a unit. You said it was going to be activated, and it was activated. And then he used the NCU board and said, I don't give a crap about activating. I'm going to charge anyway.
Yep. I didn't see that play coming, I got to say, and I'm kind of in shock, It's going to be a big swing Because not only is Jay going to drop the objective, it's going to be 2-1. Maybe not 2-1 because I see that he didn't pick up the objective with the Silence Men. But he's now going to open the round and have the option to attack. Now, he probably won't take the sword. The good news about Victarion is that he has We Do Not Sow in the deck. I think he's already used one. He's got another Assault Orders. Or he might just take the sword. Because at this point, Balon Greyjoy has no rules and has no effects. So
because it's a once per game
it's
ability.
a once per game.
Thank
so,
God for that. That's
yeah,
crazy otherwise.
It's nuts. So
well, it's nuts already. But.
he may just take the sword with Balon and suffer the penalties because it's really not that bad right now. And it also opens up the sword for round 4 or 5. Rounds 4 and 5. So that was a pretty big swing.
Yeah, a hell of a play.
Realistically, should have won that as well. Yeah. You take the mortals. You use the retreat action. Retreat is you make yeah.
I'll play Sand Diplomacy.
Go ahead.
In fact, I lost the one guy.
Okay, pick a zone.
I was gonna keep going anyway.
You pick first.
Okay, I'm gonna go with let's go with okay, I become weak and vulnerable. You charge me, I become fucked. You go with 8 wounds, maybe. I think I have to kill you now anyways though.
I didn't put the little one on all the.
I activate, you give me a card, that's stupid.
Like at least with that one, more spells.
Yeah, his base is absurd.
It's the same as the Xanthos. Yeah.
Sword.
All my spells are debuffed. So you need the white or do the board drive?
Crown.
All right, what do you got?
Okay, so Jay drew a fortuitous card. He drew Sand Diplomacy, which activates at the start of the round before anything happens. It's a really cool card where you let your opponent pick a zone, and then you get to pick a zone. It looks like they chose Sword and Crown. I'm pretty sure I heard Dan say Sword, which is kind of shocking, but maybe not so much. And I think Jay chose Crown. I'm not really sure why. But what happens is if an NCU takes the zone, doesn't matter who takes it, after you resolve the zone's effects, your opponent gets to drop 4 condition tokens on you. And they're really bad. It's like vulnerable and panicked, I believe. But it's incredibly penalizing to take those zones right now. So good on Jay. I think Jay saw that he was going to get hit. And again, I'm surprised if Dan took the swords because I thought he might take the swords, but he also knows that it's a penalty to take the swords still. So we'll see what Dan does as opener now.
Because currently right now, the Greyjoy player, which is the top of your screen, is the active player.
Yes.
And you can tell that, folks, by looking at this. Let's see if I can get it up on the screen for you. Where that token, see those string of numbers, 1 through 6? To the right of those numbers, that's the Greyjoy player. To the left of those numbers is the Martell player.
Mm-hmm.
So there you go. Active player currently right now is Greyjoy's. That's going to obviously impact what the Martell player does. And the Martell player just played Diplomacy, and now Greyjoy's
Slap down the card with authority.
It doesn't happen because I have more ranks than you.
So we do not.
Sorry, let me see Domineering Pride. Can I see?
I don't have it. They changed it. So because I have more ranks, I always automatically pass panic checks.
Because you have more ranks.
Yes.
I have it too. Okay. So disrupt.
Yep.
Force.
8 dice with rerolls. You become panicked, which I forgot to do earlier when I attacked your archers, when I charged them. Okay. 8 dice, burgers and fries.
Force.
Yes, with rerolls. Yep. Made assault. So far, so good. 6.
5 plus. 5s, yeah.
-2 for the sundering, -3. 6s.
6s.
Wonderful like that passes. 6.
That should do it, no? Should.
Panic minus a lot. You have the card though, right? Oh, no cards this turn. No
You
cards.
said no cards.
No cards.
So I need an 11?
Yep.
Minus 5, right?
Got him.
Next one to hit for the stalkers. Billboard saves or
Forgot to do my So Discord.
No tactics cards are ordered this
Oh,
turn.
that's right. That's right. That's why I didn't do it. Okay.
5. I'm just gonna pivot. Grab the objective.
Another huge move. So at the beginning of the turn, Clarence, you had said that potentially Dan might take the swords to do the activation to resolve that combat, but then it had an opportunity cost of poison. Dan heard your words, did not give a rat's butt about that. Swung for the fences and had a card that.
Gave him
He had a card in
rerolls.
his hand that
Yeah.
denied all cards.
No, so one of his NCUs, Morocco, is you know what? He's very subtle, but you just saw his worth right here. So once per game, he can say you can't use orders, you can't use cards for this turn only. So on your go turn, where you need no trickery on your opponent's side, he goes off because the card he knew that was going to save Jay was Unbent, Unbowed, Unbroken. Dan did not have enough attack dice to clear the unit. He needed the panic damage to go through. Martels have a card that give him a reroll or potentially auto pass that panic test. So he didn't want Jay to have that option at all. He popped Morocco and said you can't use orders, can't use cards. It also disallowed Jay from using the So Discord off the Blackguard captain, the Dervish captain in there, which would have put an additional -1 to hit. So Jay said, oh, I forgot to use it. Dan was like, no, you never had the option. Don't worry about it. So
An absolutely amazing ability. And this is not unlike in Magic the Gathering casting silence and the opponents not being able to cast any spells. That's exactly what he just said.
Yeah.
He just said, you can't use any cardboard in this matchup. I'm just going to punch you. You're just going to watch me do it.
yeah, that's right. And he did it with an activation as well. So he didn't take the tactics board. Victorian is quote-unquote stuck on the left side, but now he's in a commanding position. He's got both objectives. Jay's just down to 2 units. His Cav are still stuck way at the back. Oben Martel is going in, but he's going to eat a shot. He's going to have to fight Silence Men. He's in a formidable unit of Royal Guard, but he is outnumbered. He is surrounded. We'll see if he can hold up.
Yeah, this is quickly turning into a math equation, and the Martels are losing trays far too fast to be able to sum this to 0, I think. He is now in a bit of a bind. All those trays that the Greyjoys have are just now going to outmaneuver, right?
Yeah.
Flanks are going to start happening. Lucky still has the Cav to threaten, and I'm pretty sure he has that card that allows him to move fast. We'll find out in a bit, I guess.
2 weaken and a vulnerable. 2 weaken and a vulnerable is bad. 2 weaken and a vulnerable is bad. I don't want to weaken and vulnerable. He gets that. He gets that. I become thing.
It's not that.
Okay.
Volume back, right?
Yeah.
If you have the freaking thing, I'm pissed off.
22 or 22.
You can charge me in the flank right now.
As much as I like
I can get poisoned.
man, you should see the Wizards that are playing this weekend. They're so fucking stupid.
7 there.
I'm not gonna be able to heal at all anymore.
Already
Oh, yeah, there's like 3 targets.
7 dice with rerolls, become vulnerable. And I want to give you a panic token.
That's flipped over, yeah?
Yes, sorry. This is still active. It has 1 ability it can still do.
Yeah.
Bring back a dead unit.
Yeah. Bring back a what?
A dead attachment.
Right. Not a unit.
Yes.
Must be nice. 2 Balons would be
I know.
a little bit broken.
A little bit, just a little bit. You are pressuring me right now. You are pressuring me.
I love that comment. You're pressuring me. I'm killing your army, but man, do I feel pressure. I just so much pressure. And I think what he's commenting really is the Cav.
No, I think he's talking about Oberyn in the middle.
Yeah.
So Oberyn is in a flank position to charge the crossbows.
He is, yes, but does that expose his flank as well?
It will. The only way out of it for Jay, or Dan I should say, is if Jay one-shots the unit, which is, I don't think it's possible because I don't think there's a source of crit blow. The Royal Guard are really good. They only have 7 attacks. There are 9 models in there. And in that tray, the attachment is Baelor. Baylor has, I can't remember the name of the rule, but basically, based on how many ranks he's lost, he's going to suffer 1 less panic damage. Oh, and Dan's going in anyway. So after that horse maneuver, Dan just said, I'm going to go in with Newt and the Silence Men. That's a gorgeous unit right there. Oberyn Martell. This is a pretty tanky unit. They have shield wall, so they may not take too much damage. I think Dan dropped a finger dance to drop some tokens on the Royal Guard here. I see him removing some models, so I think he took a finger dance, and he's gonna so he put a panic token on. Very interesting. And he took a vulnerable. I'm not sure where the vulnerable came from. Oh, it came from Newt. When Newt charges, he drops a vulnerable, and I think he's debating what else he wants to do.
Rerolls. Sundering.
Whoever catches it first.
7.
Sundering?
Yeah. Perfect. Perfect.
7.
Yep.
5s.
5 ups. Vulnerable. 3 passed. So that's 6. You're gonna shield wall, I'm assuming.
Shield wall, take 3.
Yep.
All right. A whole bunch of things got lined up there.
Yeah, so I just saw Dan do a measurement, and you can see the future, what's going to happen here. So he crashed into the Royal Guard with the shield wall. Jay only took 3 damage, but what's brutal now for Jay is if he attacks back, if he cracks back with the sword, the Silencemen are in long range of those Reavers, who I thought were out of position. But remember, they have that Sentinel rule. So Dan's going to get a free maneuver off the point. He doesn't care anymore about the objective, and he's going to be able to get a flank charge in with that unit after Jay swings. So Jay looks like he's attacking. I think he's doing it with his activation. And we're going to see now, I think, the Reapers on the right swing over and countercharge on Dan's next activation as a result.
4s become 5s. 5s.
Silence men are 4s?
5. I did the math wrong. Okay.
So 5s, 5 die?
Yeah. Panic. Even.
Even.
6 up. 5 guys go down. Good. Heal 1, so 4 guys go down.
Oh, 4 ups.
Don't list. Can I see you? I can. It's a. Okay, let's pivot. Big charge right now.
Here, 6 attacks. 4s.
You have it?
I don't want the objective.
You have the rush of aggression?
I don't know how I'll need it. I'm just gonna do a regular charge.
Okay.
Let's see what that charge is. It's an 11. 10.
It's 11.
10. 10.
It's 11.
11. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
That's okay.
Sorry. So
Dan's all about the mind games. You measure 11, he tells his opponent 10. That's how he warps reality and how he wins games.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Cool.
You want to? We'll start off. We're looking at the chat right now. We just want to welcome QC Whiteboy to the chat. He's been thinking about starting Song of Ice and Fire, and this game apparently is cinching it for him. That's a compliment. It's a compliment to my co-pilot Clarence. He's our basically store champion for this game. My man runs pretty much all our Song of Ice and Fire events, and he's quite the banner man for this. So if you feel inspired in any way, flash him a thumbs up. I promise that thumbs up will go right to him.
Digitally, that's right. I might be called a West Coast bannerman, right, Carl?
I don't know what that meant, but all right.
Carl's in the chat. He's literally, his tag is the West Coast bannerman. But Carl's a great community leader as well. He's a big tournament organizer from the West Coast. We've chatted and met, and he's a great dude. So Dan did the Sentinel charge. He failed. He needed a 4-up, but it's no skin off his back. at the panic test. Even if he failed, it's no big deal. He's now positioned to, on his actual activation, slam in. Now, I wonder if something happened that I didn't see, because I feel like that should have been a sentinel charge, and it should be Jay's turn now. But Jay looks like he is getting ready to move his cav and prepare a flank of his own. But I believe that was a sentinel order off Dan that should have been activating. They could have messed up. We'll see.
Where are you measuring from?
To the center, so I can get my center of my tray outside into the flank. Andy, can you hold that for me?
Hold it. So
Hold that, please.
let's say I charge you, right?
What's that?
Say I charge you right here, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm activating right now, right? So
Right.
where's the?
Oh, I'm sorry. This is
Yeah.
your turn. That
Yeah.
was a sentinel.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I don't know what. Sorry,
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Yeah, my bad. Never mind. Go ahead.
Let's say I go here.
So it was exactly what you said. It was a sentinel move.
Yeah, it was a sentinel charge. Even Jay got confused because he thought that was their activation. And like I said before, Dan has caught me so many times. Even though I know the rule, I know exactly how it works. It's always a shock when it happens and it hits. So that was a sentinel charge. It failed. He passed the panic test, I presume. He just rolled the charge in. And now Oberyn is surrounded. He's already used his shield wall. But he hasn't dropped the Manticore Poison, I believe, because I think Dan healed one of the Silence Men with the Dauntless. So we're going to see the Silence Men the Reapers crack into the flank. He just pulled out the Manticore
Let's see.
Poison. I think he just...
It's good. Go ahead.
Okay.
I thought you meant Dan.
I
This is also
don't know, rules guy. Would you say?
Go ahead. Done. It's done. Go ahead. No, we're good. Go. Let's see
Did
it.
you just attack me? Wait. No. The sentinel. Because the
No,
attack
you-
just happened. The attack just happened.
But you sentineled already, so I have more information. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
Jay's touch.
8
bad.
dice. I didn't roll a charge. Did I roll a charge? No. Charge.
Yeah, you did already. You had rolled a 5.
Yeah,
You
okay.
rolled a 5.
Okay.
8 dice.
8 dice. Carl, just take a wound. Shank in. On 2s. 8.
Sundering.
No, nothing fancy. On 5s.
8.
Yeah.
No vulnerable on me. Oh, nice.
So 7.
7. Seven.
All right, we might be fast approaching the talk out phase of this championship.
Oh, God.
That is a brutal amount of casualties and
Yeah.
a heck of a series of events. So he used a sentinel move, and regardless of whether he failed it, he still squeezed movement out of it, and then leveraged that failed movement to complete an easy charge, and then lined up a bunch of other rules to. Well, he had that unit was already weakened, and when I say that unit, folks, it's the yellow unit that just had all those models.
Yeah, the Royal Guard. So
Yeah.
they're one-on-one. They're incredibly tanky. They have a shield wall ability, so they can trade blows no problem. But any unit tag team is going to drop down, as
Yeah.
it should.
So if this unit falls, I honestly don't see how
No, there's no way.
how the Martells come back from this. Even with a ranged unit, he'll just take the field, score all the points, even without even aggressing forward.
Yeah, it's kind of nuts, but this is Dan's playstyle. Dan is an all-gas kind of guy. He mentioned that at the event, 5 games in a row, he ran this list. Even though it's a 2-list format, and he had a second list that did different things, this is more his playstyle, just pure aggression. And it's a very common tactic of his to just missile in his best unit, cause a bunch of havoc, and then with that Balon respawn, come back and just completely disrupt your battle line. So, Jay did survive, but they're going to go down. I just realized that the crossbows have not activated. They have a close range shot with 7 dice. They will absolutely blow apart those last Royal Guard. And Dan's trays that are vulnerable are all at full health. Those cav only
They could
have
all
9
take a
dice.
punch, is what you're saying.
They can all take a punch. So even with a charge into a leading activation. I don't know what Jay can do, but he's going to try and claw some points back. We'll see what he does.
Yep.
You get this. She does it after she claimed the zone, right?
The first time one of those zones is claimed this round after resolving the zone affect your opponent.
Yeah. So her thing is before a zone's effect is resolved, correct? Or each time she claims.
Each time she claims a zone, target one friendly combat unit may remove.
Yeah. So that happens first, and then
Right.
yeah.
I don't have a choice. Okay, we're gonna go here.
Okay. What token you want to give me?
I'll give you a panic.
Where?
You don't have domineering pride here, right?
No.
So there, I'll give you a panic there.
Okay.
I'll use martial training to give you a vulnerable.
I'm already vulnerable. Just get rerolls, right?
Yeah, just get rerolls. Yeah.
Cool. Can you send me a panic token? Actually, I found one. Cool. You gotta finish me off, man. You have to hope I don't have the card.
If you have it, you have it. What am I gonna do?
How many dice?
7.
7? Why?
Oh, 4. You're right. My bad.
It's okay. I heard an extra
bad.
jingle in there.
Yeah, that's a jingle. Force.
All right.
3s.
3s, yes. Precision.
It's
3 or
4.
4 hits. Okay. 5 ups. Let's go. Vulnerable.
Yep.
I'm assuming 3 pass. 4 wounds. Big panic check.
So vicious and -2, -4.
-4. So panic on a 10. We're good so far. I'm assuming he's gonna roll both dice.
Yeah.
10 up. Dead. I don't have a card. Before I die, something happens. Something called Sentinel.
Yep.
Charge right in.
Fully aware.
We're good.
Hold on. Don't. Hold on. Are you in the front or flank?
Front.
Okay.
Front. Go right there. Okay. So their attack profile. I think it's 5.
So this is why he was so content.
Yeah.
Is that he was setting up for a sentinel charge.
I mean, the crossbows don't slap that hard. They're mainly a shooting unit. This is more for style.
No, I don't think so. The unit that was already in there already swung, yes?
Yes.
Okay. So then the Martel unit swung back.
So hold up. So Jay just killed with the Royal Guard the orange guys in the middle.
Correct. That swung already.
He just swung. He swung off the sword just now, so he is going to take some tokens. He killed the Silence Men, and then after the attack completed, the Golden Company crossbows used their Sentinel charge.
That haven't attacked yet.
They haven't attacked it. He's going to get a charge and a swing.
Correct.
But what I'm saying is they don't swing that good in combat.
It doesn't matter. This is a free.
It's a free attack.
It's a free attack in gravy that he signed. That he
Fair.
squeezed out of it.
I'm just saying he might want to daka with the crossbows.
Sure, but from an appreciation perspective, those guys are hanging on by a thread.
That's
right?
true. That's true. I mean, this
So-
is just styling. I'm just gonna.
Well, this is going to be volume.
It's volume. Volume dice, no doubt. No doubt.
I really dig the move. Is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I hear you.
Okay. I'll charge it.
So nice roll. 5.
6.
6.
6.
Okay. 6 on 4s. This matters. Nope.
Got him.
Cool.
Okay. Well, I will.
What I say?
I bow down.
I don't know why you bowed down, but what I'm saying
So
is
that was insane.
Dan was like, I was appreciating what he was doing. Basically, the reason why he was content with it. If they hung out, great. Meaning, if they passed the leadership test, great.
Yeah.
But if they fail, he gets this free movement and activation
true.
and attack.
Yeah.
All in one go.
Yeah.
And because they were so anemic at that
Yeah.
point, they were so weakened
Yeah.
that it was just math
Yeah.
that would crush them.
That's true. Enough dice.
And now he still gets to shoot.
He gets to
Because
shoot.
that was the Sentinel attack.
That was a Sentinel attack. He actually used
So,
a surge.
folks, the unit that's brown right now on your screen actually hasn't activated
That's right.
yet.
That's right.
That's
Yep.
where the geniuses, the efficiencies, and the leverages are.
Yeah.
What makes this move so fantastic is the fact that that unit hasn't even attacked yet.
Yeah.
What you just saw before you is just out of activation triggers,
Free.
and he killed him for free.
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 So I mean, Jay knows the game's over. I thought he might position himself to get to the flank and open with a charge next turn into the flank. He's going for a front charge, which, did he fail? He failed.
No.
He failed the charge.
Well, let's go to the table just to hear the falling of raindrops.
All right.
Score 3-2.
No, round's not over yet. Now I have 3 activations.
Okay.
Activate.
Yeah.
Use McCorrell's once per game. I'm going to put a Victorian. Victorian is going in here.
Still -1.
Okay.
Activating Balon. Taking the letters. Assault orders. Charge.
Hey, Dan, this isn't your bedroom. Remove all the shit that's off that's gone.
Okay. All right.
I think the game's over anyways. I'm tempted to call it, but
You don't have to play it through.
oh man, it's brutal.
Oh, it was a great game, though.
No, it's terrible. I played terrible. Who does
Okay.
that?
Okay,
Should have been a
so
Palisade. See, it's a mistake, right?
okay, because when I charge you, you become vulnerable. 4 up. It was good. Vulnerable on you. Panic token because I have 2 pillage tokens.
I'm already vulnerable.
Okay.
Panic token.
Panic token. Okay.
Go for it.
So Dan's so far ahead, but he's just not taking the foot off the gas at all. He used Makaro's other once per game ability, which is to resurrect a dead attachment. Or the wording of it is from a unit that's been destroyed. So Victorian did die, even though he's actually on the table right now, camping left objective. He did die. So a second Victorian is right now on the table in the Reapers. He then used his second assault orders to charge the Reapers into the front of the cav, just to rub salt into the wound and attack them again. So
And by adding that hero, give him an extra rank.
give him, sure, yeah, just why not? Why
Just
not?
'cause why not?
So he just killed a horse. The horses are tied up. Yeah, it's so Dan's going to score 2 more points at the end of the round. But more importantly, it's going to be 3 trays versus 1. One tray that's crippled down to just 1 rank left. It was a brave effort.
Okay. 7.
Hitting on force.
4 still, yes. 2 hits. Two.
Panic.
Panic. -1. -1. You need 6.
Yeah.
Reroll one of those dice.
1-3.
Yeah, 1-3. Yeah, might as well. So 2 wounds. So you're at
2 wounds left.
2 wounds left.
Okay.
I'm gonna put this right here. Round.
Round.
Dropping rating call. Drawing 3.
4.
I scored 2.
Now on 4.
It's round 4. Yes, you're first. Drawing 4 cards because of that thing. I draw. I get 2 points. You get nothing.
Yeah. So it's 6-3.
Yeah. Okay. Your first player.
All right. Well, we are going to see the closing moments of this game. The Martells have one tray left.
One
on
horse, not even a tray, but a horse.
Well, they have a tray and
have a tray
one horse
and
left
one horse.
on the
That's
table
right.
currently right now. Did you guys enjoy that? If the answer is yes, drop it in the actual comments of this stream. We know that GW is by far the most popular miniature game in the market, but we do love a whole bunch of different miniature games. It'd be nice to have maybe a day dedicated to Song. If you thought it was really, really cool, let us know. Maybe we'll do another one. And I definitely would love an excuse to do another stream. The guys here are absolutely fantastic. Again, guys, if you've enjoyed the stream thus far and you want to see more, hit some buttons. Hit a subscribe, flash the thumbs up. Flash the thumbs up for Clarence. I promise I will forward the thumbs up to him, and he will get them. Give him all the thumbs. And then, obviously come back to the channel to watch some more. This was an incredibly enjoyable game.
Yeah, it was fun. It was dynamic.
I know Jay didn't feel that way. But I do love the display of positioning, timing, skill involved in playing this game, I think.
Yeah, and you know what? Jay played a fine game. Dan is just a creative psycho who did plays that honestly no one else does. No one else voluntarily charges onto stakes, and he had a plan of coming back with a soul order, so he had to have the right cards at the right time as well. So, yeah, you know, it was just great play on Dan's part, and Jay really, you know, did, I think, a fine job setting up. And we're going to see, I think, the last volley here. He's going to get death by crossbow, looks like.
Yeah, he just simply moved the tray out of the way just to get, just to make sure that stick is as flat onto the board as possible. The tray of guys are still there, and they're just putting it back, like I said. They just wanted to make sure and be as accurate at the moment. So let's see what happens.
Oh, he's charging. He charged with the Sentinel. He's not even going to take a shot. He's doing another free move.
He's doing another free move. Because Sentinel's like the best rule
ever.
Oh
my God, he's charging with the Sentinel.
4 dice, 5, 6, 7. 7 dice, yep, gang up. On 4s, because of stupid things.
On 5s. Why not 5s?
Because of gang up.
Okay, the gang up.
Gang up
4s.
counts for that.
Crazy. Like a million?
7. 6. I rolled too many dice, but don't worry about it. One die doesn't matter. 6 hits. 6 hits.
Game. Good game.
Sentinel wins.
And there it is. I want to thank these two beautiful people right on the table currently right now. Let's see if we can get a great shot of them. How about that? If we could just get a shot of these two gorgeous human beings. There's the man, the legend that is the Danimal. This guy, top player in all of Canada, hoisting the carcass of Jay.
Oh, God.
This is what championship songs looks like, folks. And there it is. There's Dan right there. And there, right there, sitting down with his arms crossed, is this lovely man. Hey, you know what? I love Jay. Jay is a phenomenal guy. Dan, also phenomenal guy. I hope you guys had an absolutely awesome time watching these two beautiful human beings play this game. I want to thank Clarence for joining me. I want to thank Gaio for helping me set this up today. And with that, folks, I think we're going to call it right then and there. Do you have anything else to say? You want to say hi to your mom?
No. Thanks, everyone, for watching, and hopefully we'll see more Song on the channel.
Awesome.
Yeah, exactly.